We all have to abide by the deadlines in every committee for bills. The budget is another bill. All we wanted to do was put out our budget, and then we continue. Then hopefully the Democrats have a budget at some point, and there's 3 budgets out there, and we all sit down and negotiate. But until we have our ideas out there and our proposals, the answer is not, well, it could get worse. How about this? It's definitely getting worse. And we've been saying it's getting worse for years, and not because it's the party of no, and not because we're rooting for failure, but because we are the groups in this building that are realistic. You cannot fix a problem unless you acknowledge what it is. This sticking your head in the sand routine is getting old, I'm bored with it, and it doesn't work. It's been a very interesting session for all of us, and I think the most interesting part of what I've seen is, for the past month at least, what we have heard throughout this building from the Democrats in the legislature and the governor, Republicans, where's your budget? We have said, as Senator Fasano mentioned time and time again, we have put a budget together between the House and Senate Republican caucuses for the past 10 years. In fact, in the past 2 years, I think we've done 4 or 5, including deficit mitigation, etc. This year will be no different. We have said that from day one. We have also said so many times that we probably say it in our sleep, we do not support any tax increases. Not because we want to be obstinate, not because that's what Republicans do, but because we have seen what the 2 highest tax increases in the state's history have done to this state in the past 6 years. And it has given us a $3.5 billion deficit. So we put a lot of time in the past few months into doing our budgets individually and together. We have asked the Democrats' leadership, we would like to put our budget forward in the Appropriations Committee. We sat down, as Senator Fasano said yesterday, with the Senate President and the Speaker of the House and asked to convene that meeting today. We were notified last night that that's not the case. It will not happen because we don't have enough members. This is the first year we're in a different place. We have a tie in the Senate. We have a 4-vote difference in the House. One person couldn't make it today, so we were not allowed to call our budget because it would pass? That's the reality of it. That's not what this state wants. We have put together a no tax increase budget for the 11th year in a row. That budget is fully vetted. We are below the governor's spending by $300 million. From what we saw on Tuesday, the Democrats' proposal was above the governor's spending by $400 million. Hospitals are protected once again from the beating they have gotten year after year. We are protecting Social Security. We are protecting pension, the things that this state and citizens of this state ask us day in and day out. This is about a responsible, predictable, sustainable Connecticut. Hearing for the past month or 2, where's the Republican budget? Now I have to tell you, with a tie in the Senate and a couple votes away in the House, I'm very flattered that everybody's main concern is where's the Republican budget. And I suspect that's because that's always been, for at least the past 10 years, the responsible budget, the common sense budget, the no tax increase budget, the budget that focuses on the people that need our help the most. I have a problem hearing from leadership on the Democrat side, listen, we're all one big family and we can work on this together and we want to get a bipartisan budget out and we want this building to be different. That's great. They didn't want it to be different when they had 20 extra members than we did. They didn't want it to be different then. They didn't want it to be different when they had so many members that they could do what they wanted. And guys, that's what this is about. That's what this is about.
This definition is the more conservative definition of the spending cap, and it includes all spending, all appropriations, including pension payments. $363 million. It is under our proposal of the spending cap definition. And just as a point of reference, the governor's budget uses a new spending cap definition which excludes pension in his definition. So it's really not a fair comparison because they are excluding so much taxpayer debt.
The governor eliminated the entire property tax credit. So we're adding back from what he eliminated. But what we also did, and the way we're looking at this is, we are adding back the property tax credit for certain groups, but we are also phasing out income tax on pension, phasing out income tax on Social Security, giving people relief that they ask for and they need. So when you look at the whole picture, the relief that middle-class people are getting every day is above and beyond what they're getting now. Looking at the reality of where this state is, this is 2017. Every one of you have known this day was coming. This has been coming for years, but every time we talked about it, we were doom and gloom and the party of no. No, once again, you can't fix a problem unless you acknowledge what it is. End of story, and I don't care if people are angry because these are difficult budgets and there will be cuts and there will be things that people don't want. This state is falling apart. It's sad, but it's true. But there is a way out of it. And unless we make difficult decisions with courage and a vision, nothing is going to change.